swear this camera gets more and more precarious. I've took it off the boom. Well, I haven't, but I've changed the. Don't ask. Don't ask. We're trying to make it work. All right, that seems better though. I need some more tape. I need to secure that at some point. Not right now. Okay, so I've been working on a personality script, which looks like this. Well, you can see it in the inspector better probably. So all's that I've done for now. Let's call that don't start. Don't start me now, I don't want to do anything, I want to sit here and rot. Don't start me now. Sorry. That's because that song was playing on the radio in the car yesterday when I went to the supermarket to get some items. Alright, so basically it started with me looking at my character page and also me watching a YouTube video about how to write interesting characters. So shout out to, who was it? History. Shout out to the second story, creating interesting characters, a beginner's guide. Now I'm not exactly following exactly what she said, but I liked the fact that she was kind of just saying, you know, just start small, like write a character sheet, blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, I kind of already have a good place to start by generating a character sheet, and that is my stat sheet. Ignore this was just me spitballing. But yeah, I knew that I wanted some information, you know, about the character, the personality, because this is all just obviously statistics for driving the RPG. But you know who is this girl? Who are any of these girls? Who are any of us? Are we even real? Well, we're not going to get that deep and philosophical, but you know what I mean, right? So it's like, okay. So I started thinking about, there are like attributes that you can say about everybody, right? Like age, how old is somebody, star sign, when were they born. Some people believe that star signs affect personalities. I'm not one of those people. For this game, I want everybody to have like a net handle. I want everybody to have like an internet name that sometimes gets brought up, right? So like, I don't know, like Billy in Zenless might be a Starlight Knight or something like that, right? I've like an alias. Aspirations. I was thinking, well, aspirations is something they could share, whether they be younger or older. They could be aspiring to be the world's greatest novelist or whatever, right? And I could write that in there, and that could certainly influence the personality. And then I started fleshing out a gift-giving system, because I knew that we're going to have an affection system, and we're going to do a gift-giving system. So the way my gifts work is each gift has a name, a description, will have a image URL which we'll pull in from the server, and we have a multiplier, which is how many friendship points they multiply by. So 3 would be large point giving gifts, 2 would be medium point giving gifts, and 1 would be small point giving gifts. And what I've done is I've written a little script on each character, because for some of these things, like star sign, favorite music, favorite food, right, and we'll have to make sure that these make sense. I can obviously go and change any of these, but for a lot of these characters, there's 21 characters, right? Do I care what star sign this girl is? Not really. Do I care what star sign any of them are? Maybe like some of my favorites I might want to customize, or maybe I find out that, I don't know, I find out that Sagittarius is a dead hot-tempered, and that's supposed to be for Sweetie, right? And I want it to be like a little, you know, pushover. So that I might go in and change it then. But just to give me a place to start, I wrote a script which randomly picks from a list. If I go into my personality script again, I have some enums set up. So obviously, you know, I just wrote some foods that I thought could be fun to be favorite foods for them. And I guess this is funny. And then I looked up what are the weirdest, most unusual musical genres, and then I listed those. Some of those probably fit thematically with the game, right? They sound very modern, very internet, like they maybe came from the internet. And obviously star signs are star signs, they're set in stone anyway, right? They're never going to change. And then I just had the script randomly pick from these. So, okay, it says that Chizuru is an Aries. So my next job now is, I think, just to go in and we'll just try and guess what age these girls are meant to be. Because obviously I didn't want that to be random, because we don't want, you know, the one that looks like Nahida who looks about 10, we don't want it saying she's 26. She could be, but I don't want to like subvert expectations to that degree or anything like that. So we want to go to project resources, we want to go to iDLE, we want to go to we could use avatars actually. Avatars could work for this. Yeah, avatars should work for this. Just put them in a single column. Oh, we can do a double column, I guess. Alright, so Chizuru is up first. I mean, to me, she kind of looks like she's still in school. Well, actually, this is why this might not be the best image. The best image is probably the splash art, because we can see the outfit, and I think the outfit helps define their age, I think. Where did I put that? UI girls. Splash art. There we go. Yeah, because Chizuru like is wearing what appears to be a school uniform to me, so I think she should still be in school. Now even this varies, right? In some countries you go to school till you're 56, and in other countries like ours, you know, you leave school when you're 10 and then you're expected to go on, you know, work on Wall Street or something. So I don't know. She looks like older though, like an older school girl, right? Like ready to leave school or graduate or whatever. I mean, I kind of want to say she's like 19, but I don't know if does anyone still go to school at 19? Maybe she's 17. But even here in the UK, we leave school at 16, so like you wouldn't, if you were 17, you should be in college. But yeah, she could be 15, I guess, and then she'd definitely still be in school. Yeah, I guess she could be 15. Let's go 15. Okay, Tamar looks a little bit older than me. She just looks like a short ass. So I'd say Tamar looks about 19. We'll go with 19. Okay. Izumi is a bit of a weird one. Hard to put an age on Izumi. Izumi kind of looks like she could be a fair bit older. Let's make her 20. But she also has like a very young look to her. I mean, they all have young looks to them because they're fucking anime, right? So that's kind of the anime style. So it's difficult to say. Setsu, I mean, she's a nurse, she's a healer. I think she's probably a working girl. So let's make Setsu 18. She's left school. She's working as a nurse. She's like a, you know, trainee nurse or something. Rain, initially I wanted Rain to be older. And I thought she looked older when I first, like, you know, downloaded her and whatever. But when she's in the game, I don't know whether she gets squished or what. She actually looks insanely young in the game. I don't know why. I don't know how that happened. So it's hard to put an age on Rain. So let's make her 16, because that's kind of like smack bang in the middle, right? It's like she could either be about to leave school or she could have just left school. All right, Nozomi. Again, Nozomi's a weird one, right? Because I bounce back and forth on Nozomi. Sometimes I feel like she looks a bit older, but then she's got very like small and, I don't know, young like features. So it's hard to say. She's either extremely young. Yeah, Nozomi's a tough one. Like on the here, she looks insanely young. Yeah, she definitely looks like a younger character here, I think. But then for some reason on the splash art, I don't know, there's something about her makes her look a bit older. Nozomi. Nozomi. What should we make you? I think we make a 15. Let's go with 15. Alright, Bandy. Bandy's a nurse. She's a working girl. Bandy looks like Michael Jackson. She looks about 46. Especially in anime terms. So yeah, let's make her like 25. Yeah, 25 is good. Alright, Sheena. Again, oh yeah, definitely an older looking girl. Let's go with 23 for Sheena. Alright, Chloe looks super young, right? Chloe looks, I don't know, like 11 or 12 maybe. No, actually, she's got a bit of bustiness going on there, so I don't think she's that young. She doesn't look super young there though, but she has got the you know, the developments. Hard to say really then. Yeah, let's make a 13. Let's go with 13. Alright, Suzu. Definitely looks like older. 21, I'd say. She looks like your typical 21-year-old. Kiki, definitely a little bit older again. Let's go with 23. Yeah, Fiorella again, definitely an older, more mature character. Let's go with 24. Sweetie looks, yeah, quite young to be fair, very immature, but also somebody who's maybe older than, acts younger than they are. So I think she could be, I think she's like 17. Let's make her 17. Alicia, I think she's actually quite a bit younger, but she's just a badass, right? I'm going to make her like a 15-year-old badass, I think. Yeah, I think Alicia's like a 15-year-old badass. Katarina's definitely a little bit older, a little bit wiser, a little bit more mature. Let's make her 19. Sylvia, definitely super young, right? I think she's like 11. 10 or 11. Marielle, a little bit older, you know, sort of like, yeah, teenage-ish. I think 18 or 19. Let's make her 18. Himari is younger, right? I wanted to make Himari, she's Chizuru's younger sister. Shit, we said Chizuru's, maybe I should make Chizuru 16. Let's make Chizuru 16 then, and let's make Himari 14. 2 years younger. I think that makes sense. Alright, Zoe, definitely an older character. I think she wants to be about 22. She's also probably like an alien or something, so she's the character that could be 652, right, where she looks like 20. But no, we're not going to go down that road. Mambo definitely looks super young, probably around the same age as Sylvia, to be honest. Definitely. So how old do we make Sylvia? 11. Yeah, I think about the same. And Girl Brush, I think, is a little bit older, so we'll make her 12. Alright, so now we've got some ages in there that I think I'm happy with. So let's just go through and make sure we're happy. So she's 16. She's 19. She's 20. She's 18. She's 16. She's 15. 25. 23. 13. 21. 23. I think they seem sensible enough. It's a fucking anime game, right? Like it's never sensible in an anime game, but whatever. All right, so we picked their ages. Net handles, I want to have some control over that. No, this will be an interesting one. Maybe I need the personality fleshing out more before I know what the net handles should be. Chizuru. I could make it for Chizuru. It could be like Big Cheese. I like that. But with a Z, Big Cheese. I like that. All right, let's go with Big Cheese. That's good. Tama. 19 Gemini. Hey, that's my star sign. Tama's Icebreaker. Icebreaker. Something like Cool and Deadly. Cultured Ice Queen. Ice Queen. We'll come back to her. Izumi Ice Buffer. Maybe I get GPT to help with this internet handle thing. I do like Big Cheese though. Sweeties needs to be like cringe as fuck. Like pink sparkles or something like that, you know what I mean? Yeah, definitely need. But that's actually a real, I think that's a real content creator or something, a real OnlyFans girl. So I won't go with that. But something very similar to that, like Pink for Life. Yeah, that seems like that would be Sweetie's internet handle. Yeah, this might be the best way to do it. Is just to go through and see which ones seem like most obvious. Like Girl Brush, right, is a shout out to Guybrush Threepwood, so she's meant to be like a pirate, or wants to be a pirate. So maybe we can think of one for an internet handle for a girl who wants to be a pirate, like Shiver Timbers or something like that. Plank Walker. Oh no, that could. She's like fucking 12, and that might get misconstrued. Yeah, let's not go with Plank Walker. We have to be a little bit carefully with some of these. Pirates, piracy, Pirate Bay, pirates, pirate. What? Black. What are they called? What are the pirate things called? The black. There was black something, are they? Black Shore or something like that. I've got a great idea. What we do? Well, this is where we can get Jibity involved. Okay, I need help thinking of an internet handle alias for a young girl who wants to be a pirate. Scallywag is good. Little Scallywag is good. I like that. Little Scallywag. That's actually really good. Yeah, that one's great. Little Scallywag. Excellent. Okay. Are there any others that shout out at me? I think this might make more sense because, like, there you go. Like aspirations, right? Always dreams of being a mighty pirate, finding valuable and rare treasures. Okay, so let's go through and see if we can do some aspirations, because this is going to help with the next part, you see. Okay, so Chizuru, she's either just she probably hasn't left school. She's in a fucking school uniform all the time. So she's probably like, you know, doing her final exams, whatever. So she should be thinking about careers. I think she's probably kind of hot-headed and stuff like that. Maybe I do need to add like personality traits. I might actually do that. Because again, I can go in and save some of these. So sometimes it's nice just to have a little bit of, you know, push me in a certain direction. So I'll tell you what, let's do this. We can always get rid of it. Let's make an enum of traits. Let's make an enum of traits. And then we can do like shy, short-tempered, outgoing. Is argumentative the same as short-tempered though? Shy, short-tempered, outgoing. There's probably like a bunch of anime tropes as well, isn't there? Let's do some digging. There's bound to be like anime trope traits. Oh my god. Tsundere with a harsh cortex exterior that hides a warmer, more vulnerable side. Okay, yeah, we can add these. Tsundere. Yandere is a character who is initially sweet and affectionate but becomes obsessive and even violent towards their love interest. Well, obviously that would only make sense for maybe one of the older girls. So I don't think I'll put it in the random selection one. Because I think that would be too weird if you had like one of the really young girls who maybe has a crush on someone and is a psychopath and wants to kill them or whatever the fuck. The Dandere, a character who is shy, quiet and reserved, often struggling with social interaction. Yeah, I mean, I would just say that's like shy, right? Antisocial, maybe. Mean. And then sweet, because obviously sweet is going to be sweet. Sweetie is going to be sweet. Like maybe overbearingly so. Comic duo where one character provides the straight man reactions to the other's antics. Lowly and short, a character designed to look like a young child, often with disproportionately large eyes. Isn't that all anime characters? The Moe, a character that is designed to evoke feelings of affection and protectiveness in the viewer. So protective, yeah, that's a good one. Like protective. Okay, now let's just go for general story character tropes. Common character tropes. Tropes all screenwriters should know. The hero, the anti-hero, the villain, the mentor. Yeah, mentor's like a good one. Likes to teach others and shit like that. Mentor. Rebellious. Clown. Well, we could just do like funny. Comical. Like, you know, good sense of humor. Warrior, I mean, they're all meant to be warriors if some sort. Loner, yeah, like lone wolf. Loner, like antisocial, something like that. Motherly figure. Motherly could be good for one of these girls. It's like, I guess, does that come under protective? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Insecure, confident. Now, I think, okay, you know what I think we need? So this is where, now I'm starting to see a problem with this list. So what we're going to do is we're going to do P traits and we're going to do N traits. Because you can't be, if I get it to pick three random traits, it might pick, okay, this girl is confident and insecure. Well, they can't be confident and insecure because those are kind of opposites. So what we need to do is divide these into positive traits and negative traits, and then we'll get it to pick like 2 positive traits and 1 negative trait or whatever for each character. And then again, I can always change these, right? It's not like these are set in stone. So now we need to try and figure out which of these are like. So obviously, like shy, I think shy and outgoing are like opposites. So we need to go through the top list. So now we need to remove outgoing from this list, and then we'll sort of try to negate all of these. Short-tempered, I think patient is the positive of short-tempered. Patient. Tsundere said it was what? I don't know if I want tsundere because I don't even know what it fucking means. Can I not translate that into like normal English? What was tsundere again? Tsundere definition. I've forgotten already. I hear about it all the time. I just don't really know what it is. Most of the news anime to describe a character who initially presents a harsh, cold, even hostile, but gradually reveals a warmer, more affectionate side. I mean, I would say that is just like good at like what is the word of that? Not dishonest, but like self-protective, right? I think that comes from like self-consciousness, right, where you don't want to show all your cards. What would a word for that be? It's a combination of aloof and off-putting or something. So I guess I would call that so to me that's like when people say, right, some people say that some people are like, and I'm like this, wear the heart on the sleeve. I'm just like that. I just don't see it. I am what I am. I haven't got time for like, I just don't really, never saw much point in not just saying what I mean and meaning what I say. I understand where it comes from, and I understand it can probably be beneficial and blah blah blah. It's just not something I've ever really adopted. I just think it's part of my nature. So I think wearing the heart on the sleeve, I don't know if you could say that in one word. Again, I'll ask for Jibity's help. Right. I'll ask for Jibity's help. So let's say, right, so I'm looking for words. Well, let's start with, I'm writing positive and negative traits for my characters. I need a word for personality wears heart on their sleeve. Personality, maybe opposite, tries to present a colder, less, what could I say? Not less honest, but less, more like hiding their cards. Cards close to chest, protecting true feelings type. Okay. Let's see what it says. I'm writing positive and negative traits for my characters. I need a word for personality wears heart on their sleeve. Personality opposite tries to present a colder, cards close to chest, protecting true feelings type. Right, yeah, open. I guess that's a good way. Open. Okay, so I'm going to change. I know that's probably not what tsundere is, but I'm not sure I want to go around down there. Tsundere would probably just be a combination of two of these things anyway, I would think. So open and closed. Reserved, yeah. Reserved, I think, makes sense. Alright, yeah, so I'm going open, reserved. Okay, so then we've got mean. So if mean would be the negative of like just kind-hearted, I guess. I mean, I put sweet. Let's go with kind-hearted. Protective. So when I wrote this trait, I was thinking about, the kind of person who's, if they see anybody else getting bullied or whatever, they're straight away they're there like, hey, don't you bully them, I'll fucking kick your head in types. So I guess protective, maybe cowardly is the opposite of protective. I think it probably is. Cowardly. So mentor, somebody who likes to teach others. Mentor, someone who likes to teach others, was the opposite of somebody who likes to teach others. I mean, maybe the opposite of someone who likes to teach others is somebody who just keeps every, knowledge to themselves, who's like, oh. But what would a word for that be? Okay. Can we now think of someone who likes teaching others? I'm thinking mentor. And the opposite, someone who thinks others should learn for themselves, or wants to keep the knowledge for their own. What would the word be? Like when people are like, oh, I'm a master chef, and it's like, oh, will you teach me how to be a master chef? It's like, no. Like, why should I? You know what I mean? Like, that's my thing. I want that to be, I don't know. Like, if I teach you that, then I don't have anything over anybody else, kind of thing. Wants to keep the knowledge for their own benefit, I guess. For their own, what would you say? I guess advantage. Okay. Absolutely. Here are some thoughtful word pairs that capture both. So yeah, mentor I think is good for the positive one, and then it's secretive. Yeah, maybe. Guarded. I think I already have guarded, don't I? I don't have guarded. Or maybe selfish. Is it really the opposite of selfish? Because there's obviously selfish and selfless. They should probably be in here, actually. Let's go with selfless. And selfish. But I don't think that's the opposite of mentor. Competitive, maybe. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't think competitive. Yeah, because people who are very competitive don't typically want to help others compete with them. They just want to compete with them and beat them, right? I think. I guess you probably do get them, but like, yeah, I think I know. I think I know what it's getting at. Yeah, I think that might be correct. Right. So I mean, it's if you're comical and you're funny, well, I guess you would be serious, right? The opposite of comic is like someone who makes a joke out of everything is someone who's maybe a little too serious. So someone who's very serious. I think serious is the opposite of comical. If you're right, loner is maybe a negative trait. Maybe. Can be. And I think social would be the opposite of a loner. Motherly. Is there an opposite of motherly? Fatherly. I don't know that there is an opposite to motherly necessarily. Obviously confident would be the opposite of insecure, I think. Okay, I'm just going to share this with Ghibli and see if it has any suggestions for any more. Okay, so far I have the following. Can you suggest any other good ones for an RPG? Your traits already cover a nice emotional and behavioural range. For a character-driven RPG, you can enhance personality depth by adding traits that suggest motivations, quirks, values, or behavioural patterns. Optimistic. Yeah, I think so. Optimistic's quite good. But that, yeah, optimistic and pessimistic would be opposites, right? Always looking on the downside. Yeah, that's a good one. Optimistic versus pessimistic. Brave. Yeah, I guess because I've got coward, right? Cowardly. Yeah, brave is a great one. Brave. Courageous, I guess. Same kind of thing. Disciplined. Yeah, discipline's a good one as well. Disciplined. Wise. Yeah, and then maybe like dumb. Empathetic. I mean, I put motherly. That's kind of what I was going for. Jealous. Yeah, some jealousy in that story could be pretty fun. Some jealousy could be fun. Lazy. Lazy's a good one. Lazy. Overbearing. Melodramatic. I feel like this is just a list. This is just how they wrote Paimon, isn't it? Stubborn, greedy, lazy, prideful, jealous, manipulative. This is basically just Paimon. Alright. Alright, that's pretty good. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to write a start function which is going to randomly assign some traits. Now obviously these aren't going to be set in stone and I might want to change them, but it's just going to give me a place to start from because it might help me flesh out characters. But like there are some that are obviously not going to match, right? So like Sweetie, for example, if it says Sweetie is, you know, antisocial, greedy, nasty, jealous, like yeah, you could do that, I guess, and subvert expectations, but I think that's not really the direction I want to go in. So obviously I would change that and say no, she's obviously meant to be this, this, and this, and this. But for some of them I'm kind of interested what random traits they inherit just by rolling the dice. Okay, so what we need is we need to declare a values variable, and we say get type of p traits, positive traits. Yeah, we need a list of positive traits and negative traits now. So we'll put above this, we'll go public list of positive traits. And we want a public list of n traits for neg traits. Public list of negative traits, and that might help us. Well, I might get, and again, I might just get GPT to write some bios once we give it. So I've got a little function, I've got a little system in this Unity project that will literally just send out whatever I want to send out and then stick whatever comes back into the boxes for me. And that's how I managed to get descriptions and names on, what was it, like 300 pieces of gear just to start me off for like the gear system. So like every single one of these has like names and descriptions, and I didn't write all those. Most of these were written by ChatGPT, and it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Now characters are a lot more important than, you know, because I don't really care what, you know, that this is called steadfast netizen, and that, you know, it says wield the logics Luminous Lumberguard. Wait, is that even the correct name? Oh yeah, this is the Logic's Luminous Lumberguard. To deflect hate with reason and illuminate the darkest corners of the online chaos. Like it all matches the theme of the game, right? Because I told GPT what the theme of the game was, and then I said, give me some names and descriptions. But that's actually pretty good, if I'm being completely honest. And like, you know, yeah, sure, I could have thought of some of these manually, and some of them are mine, right? If I go, like, some of my favorite gear pieces. Like, I obviously went through and I was like, okay, I really like... You can see where I kind of took over, because I like my healers in these games, so you could start to see... and these were starting to look very similar with the images. So when I was generating the images for them, at a certain point, I think it's like here, where I started to take over a little bit, and now I start to take a bit more control over it. And then these were healers, and I'm like, well, healers don't want to look like World of Warcraft like this. They want to, you know, they want to have some healing theme. So that's when I had the idea, oh, I know, why don't I make them nurses? And then why don't I use a different color for each, like, stat bonus? So that's when that started to happen. And so different colors of different nurses' outfits relate to different stats, but nurse means healer. And so they all have like a healer theme. And then I went with cheerleaders for the buffers, because it's like, you know, they're cheering you on. And then they use the same colors for the same stat buffs that the nurse sets have. So there's some consistency there. But it's a good starting point, isn't it? Right? It's like, so yeah, I did sort of take over here, and then I went for maids for debuffers. I don't know why. Just because I thought, well, we've got nurses and we've got cheerleaders. This game, I guess, needs maids now. Because, I don't know, it seemed like the logical place to go. And I really like how these turned out, right? I think they get a lot more interesting further down. When I actually, like, took a much more rigid approach with it, when I started, like, you know, intervening from the healer sets, I think these sets get a lot more interesting to look at. But, you know, for some of this, for the starting point of the attacker sets, there's nothing wrong with these. These are fine. These are absolutely fine. It's just after a certain point I felt like, well, everything's starting to look the same, and that doesn't really make sense for healers. So let's, you know, let's dig in and get a bit more control over it. So I'll probably do the same thing with characters, right? Because it worked out great for everything else. So anyway, we are picking positive traits and negative traits. So we want... a positive trait. We'll go for 2 positive traits and 1 negative trait, I think. Pos traits. Where have I got this wrong? Oh, because that wants to be the... That is the type, Anna. What have I done wrong? What have I done wrong? We're getting types of positive traits, which is the enum, yes. And our list. Oh, maybe you can't add. Maybe you can't add. Yeah, because we're assigning... Okay, I think I understand why. Yeah. Oh, actually, no, maybe I can. I just need another... Yeah, there we go. I just need another one of those. Yeah, because we're adding to a list. And I need another close off. There we go. Okay, so then... Oh, but you know what? You know what? The reason this won't work... Okay, let me just do this differently. So we want a P trait, right? Pick trait equals, and then we want to say P trait value length blah blah, right there. The reason we do that is we hold a reference to the P trait in memory, and then we can say add pick trait, because what we want to do is we want to remove that trait, because we can't pick the same trait twice. So now we need to remove pick trait, and then we can say, because we want 2 positive traits, then we can basically say the same thing we set up here, but now we just say pick trait again randomly from what's remaining in the list, and then add and remove pick trait. So there's two positive traits, and then we want to do the same thing with negative traits. So we can go with, yeah, we need to reset values. So we can do that exact same thing, but we remove the var, and now we pick from negative traits, end traits. Then we want to say we want to define, we can use pick trait. No, we can't, because pick trait is a positive trait. So now we need to define a negative trait, pick neg equals, and then we want this, but now we're picking from the negative traits pool, so we want to change that to end traits. There we go. And then we can say, we don't need to remove it from the list because we're only doing 1 negative trait, I think. Negative trait, add pick neg. There we go. That should work. So if we save that and then we go back to the Unity project. Alright. We should be able to hit start, and we should see automatically every character should get 2 positive traits and 1 negative trait. So we hit play. And we got a null reference exception. Nowhere. We got, weirdly enough, we got 1 negative trait. Competitive is a negative trait. I made a mistake, clearly. Wait, competitive is not a negative trait, is it? Oh yeah, maybe I did put it as a negative trait. Because I was thinking of the opposite of like someone who shares knowledge with people, right? Like someone who's teaching and helping people get better at something. And so I saw competitive as, no, that's just you wanting to get better yourself. Well, that isn't necessarily a negative trait. I guess if you take it too far, right? But it's the same with anything, right? You could be overly motherly, right? And be like possessive and controlling. Okay, let's take a look at what this error is. Oh, that's completely, that's not even our personality. Okay, let me run it again. What is happening? That's Clover request. That's UI characters. That's scene camera. So we don't have any errors on the script, but for some reason we end up with no positive traits. Where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong? In making life the one thing your body, the touch in your ear. I'm looking at the wrong code. So we declare values and we say system enum get values type of p traits, which is positive traits. Then we declare a positive trait. We say pick trait from p traits values get value random range 0 to values length. Correct. Positive traits add pick traits. Oh, I know. I know what I did wrong. I add it and then I remove it directly after I added it. That's why we only ended up with 1 negative. I'm removing from the same list I'm adding from. Yeah, I should have built a list of positive traits so that I could pick from the list and then remove from the list. So all that we need to do... Yeah, it works for these because we only pick 1. But we want to make sure we don't end up with any duplicates. Okay, actually, let me just ask GPT what the... Because there might be an easy way of doing it. I know how to do it. But the way I would do it is I would say for each trait in positive traits, add traits to temporary list of traits, then pick from temporary list of traits. It's a whole shaboodle. But there might be a way just to copy a list of enums straight into a list. Like maybe just copy a list of enums or something. Is it possible to copy a list of enums since I need to remove okay, let me just think how to word this. Okay, I want 2 positive traits and 1 negative trait. However, I need to copy to a temp list so I can remove the already selected positive trait. Is there a quick way to do that? That is the pirate alias. Let me just close that entire browser. This is the one that I was using. There we go. Yes, to cleanly avoid duplicates when selecting multiple random enums, the best approach is to copy the enums to a temporary list so you can safely new list of. Oh, there you go. I thought there would be. Yeah, I would have not known that syntax. So let's take a look at that syntax. That syntax is interesting. So why is that? Ambiguous reference. Use Unity Engine. Again. Okay, so we say list of p traits temporary positive equals a new list of p traits, and then inside our constructor we say p traits array cast to system enum get values using method type of p traits. Holy shit. Yeah, that's wow. That'll do it, but oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, that's nice and clean actually. But wait, do we even need? Why is that suddenly ambiguous though? What did we add? System. It must be system, yeah. I think system always causes that weird discrepancy. Oh boy, oh boy. It's fine. We just need to change random to Unity Engine random so we tell it which namespace to use. There we go. And we've got another one down here now. There we go. Alright, so if we hit run now, finally, we should get 2 positive traits and 1 negative trait on each character. So there's our positive traits. So Izumi is selfless, optimistic, but also pessimistic. Yeah, shit. Yeah. That's what I was trying to avoid. So that obviously makes no sense, right? How can she be both optimistic and pessimistic? Oh, fuck. Oh boy. Oh, sorry about that. It's so weird. I'll just be sat here and then all of a sudden it's just like the insane need to like stretch my muscles. That's what that is. That isn't me like turning into some kind of rabid animal or something. Oh, right. There we go. I don't really know what I can do about that though. Like the easiest way to stop that from happening would be to try to ensure, but we didn't necessarily have a corresponding positive to negative trait value, but if we did, we could retain the index. What we would actually do is we would generate 3 unique random numbers, and so that way that we don't pick the same index from the negative list as we did from the positive list, right? So in other words, if index 5 was optimistic, then index 5 would be pessimistic on the negative list, and then we make sure we don't ever roll 5 twice. We say give me 3 unique numbers, and then we know that the negative trait isn't a negative of one of the previous positive traits. However, that's what I was going to do, but then it all kind of fell apart when I realized, well, not every trait necessarily has a positive and corresponding negative trait. I think we have a few more positive traits here than negative ones. It's fine, because again, right, for this, to be honest, I'm not going to sweat it. I'll just fix anything like that looks a bit weird, right? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Wise, kind-hearted, but maybe a little too competitive. Sounds good. Sounds much better. Alright, so what we can do is we can highlight that, we can copy it, and then we can go into here and we can paste it. Now we have a new base, so we can get rid of the old one. And now that base is permanent. Just reassign it into characters. There we go. Alright, so Cheeseroo. Big cheese. Favorite food is ice cream. Favorite music is Quakecore. Positive traits is she's selfless. Yeah, I don't know about that for Cheeseroo. I do not want Max Caulfield. I do not want actually, Max Caulfield was actually quite selfish when you think about it. But you know what I mean? I don't want some tragic character who's just a complete doormat who gets walked all over. So I'm going to change that one. And I don't see her as patient either. Okay, so this has gone terrible. Yeah, no, I would say she was a little bit impatient. Actually, do we have impatient? Yeah, I actually think she's impatient. That's actually made me realize that now, though. Because she's my main character, I do already have like a little bit of an idea of how I kind of want it to be. So let's add impatient. And she's the only one who's going to be impatient because we literally just added it. So there was no way any of the others could have inherited that trait, right? Because it wasn't there to pick from when we ran the code. So that's actually amazing. So she can be impatient. If anything, I'd think that she was more selfish than anything, but we already picked her one negative trait. We can add more if we want. She could just be like Paimon, right? She could just be a list of negative traits. I think she's rebellious. I think she's a little firecracker. That's what I think. Let's just see our character. Yeah, I think I want it to be like, you know, like she's probably getting in trouble. I see her as probably getting into trouble in school a lot because she's very like argumentative and, you know. But at the same time, what's her main positive trait that makes her a likable character? What's her main positive trait? Also, why is insecure in the positive traits list? Insecure isn't a positive trait. Okay, we need to remove insecure from the we need to run this again. We'll need to start this again then. What the fuck is insecure doing in the positive traits category? Okay, let's run this again. Let's run this again. Oh, yeah. The reason why is because we never cleared the other ones out. So now we just need to say pos traits clear, neg traits clear at start, so that we remove the old ones. Because we've had a little jumble around. This is fine though. You always have to reiterate in stuff like this until it's right. Okay, yeah, it's still saying she's not the character I want her to be, but that's fine, right? Because I care more about these other characters that I don't care as much about because they're not the main character, if that makes sense. So I'm going to copy that, and we'll fix Cheeseroo. We've got a new base. Delete the old one. Reassign it. There we go. So Chizuru, I already know. I want it to be rebellious and impatient. So she's often getting into arguments. But there's got to be one positive trait. Maybe she's kind-hearted. I think she's kind-hearted. I think that's what makes her a likable character. And also, like, why is shy a positive trait? Like, is shy really a positive trait? I don't think so. It's like a lack of confidence, isn't it? Anyway, whatever. But I guess you could write shy in a sort of... I think that's what we're trying to do here, is figure out like how we're writing these characters. And I think you can write shy in a sort of, you know, likable way, if that makes sense. I don't know. Right, do I like that it picked ice cream? Yeah, ice cream and kawaii core seems fine for favorite food. Music. Yeah, I think I like the liked and disliked gifts. Alright, so now we can just go through and see if the other ones make sense. So Tama likes sausage. Well, that's obviously the joke food item. And given that she's 19, that's fine. I think we can get away with that. She loves a good sausage. So that's fine. Maybe I should have said hot dog, but anyway, sausage is funnier. So because she's 19, that's fine. I just need to be careful that it didn't, you know, one of the much younger characters, it didn't randomly pick sausage, because I think I'll probably change it if it did. Because that's like the, you know, the slightly cheeky joke, right? Okay, so Tama's very serious. Yeah, I can see that. Maybe takes things a little too seriously. Yeah, I can see that. Got a bit of a stick up her ass. But she likes teaching people and helping people. That seems good, because she's one of the like starter characters, and she's very optimistic. She's always looking on the bright side. So she would be... You know who that is? That's Canthea. She's Canthea. At least this. She can be saying at least this and at least that all the time in the story. That'd be great. And then it's like a little Easter egg as well for Canthea. So we can get attacked by like this insane attack, right, that almost kills everybody, and she can be like, oh well, at least our healer's still alive. Forever positive. No, I like that. That seems fine. Okay, Izumi is saying... Wait, she likes sausage as well. Where do they all like... Oh, they all love sausage, apparently. Why does she also like... She's 20. She's allowed to like sausage at 20. Even if we're not really talking about food. I swear to God, why did all three characters, all three of the first characters, I didn't do this, it randomly picked sausage. Not all four characters. The first four characters, it picked sausage, 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 sausage. Yeah, that's not varied enough. No, it didn't. It picked ice cream for Chizuru, but it picked sausage for Tama. It picked sausage for Izumi, and it picked sausage for Setsu. Maybe ice cream makes more sense for these two, one of these two, because they're ice units, right? Okay, let's make Izumi like pudding. I'm gonna make Setsu like the sausage because she's a nurse, so she's already going to be hands-on with a lot of human bodies and stuff, right? So I think it makes more sense. I'm not sure Tamar would be a sausage lover. Maybe Tamar likes fish. I think Tamar likes fish. Okay. And then Izumi likes pudding. Setsu likes sausage. Alright, Rain is 16. She likes fish. Yeah, that makes sense. She's like Rain Girl, right? Wet fish. Nozomi likes haggis. Oh, that's kind of fun because she's got a tartan skirt. So that's actually kind of fun. That was randomly picked, by the way. But no, I'm happy with that. Michael Jackson likes cake. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Sheena likes salad. Sure. Chloe likes burgers. Suzu also likes haggis. I'm not sure about that. I think that should just be Nozomi's thing. Let's make her like salad as well. Suzu. Kiki likes pizza. Sure. Fiorella likes sausage. So I don't know, she's a bit posh. Maybe she'd be a salad. Cause she's a bit posh though, right? What's the poshest food? Caviar. I could add caviar and say it's caviar. Alright, let's do it. So we're gonna make food. Because I'm liking this because it means the 5 stars, right? They all have their own unique attributes that nobody else has. And also our main character, who's actually a 4-star. So we're going to say that Fiorella's favourite food is caviar. Sweetie, it's got to be, yeah, no, it can't be burgers. It's got to be like something sweet, right? Like, I think cake. I think, yeah, she's even in a cake shop on the splash art. So she's obsessed with cakes, of course she is. Makes sense. Alicia, the one that looks like Alice in Wonderland, likes burgers. I think I want to make it like cheese. I don't know why. I feel like cheese makes more sense. Katarina is a little bit posh. She looks like she's like... But I think, you know, I like that Katarina... So the thing I'm getting from Katarina is that she's like she's some sort of royalty or whatever, because she's just like, oh my god, her character just looks like, you know, little fucking princess cat girl. But I think she should be the subverted version of that, right? So she should be like the girl who was born in a wealthy family who just wants to be a normal girl, right? She doesn't like all the pomp and circumstance, whereas Fiorella's all about that pomp and circumstance, right? Like Fiorella fucking lives for it, whereas Katarina just wants to be like, just treat me like a normal girl, you know what I mean? I don't like any of that royalty stuff, you know. I didn't ask to be born into royalty. Like, I feel like Katarina, that should be her character, where she just wants to be a normal girl. She doesn't really like so maybe she should just like she should like something kind of common, I think, like a pizza. Like, she actually just loves, like, a family never, you know, a family are always looking down on her whenever she wants a nice pizza. You know, oh, you're eating pizza, Katarina. And she's like, yeah, I like pizza. She says, I just want to be a normal girl, leave me alone. I think that makes sense. I like that. Alright, Sylvia is like, she looks like she spends a lot of time outside. She likes nature. She likes outdoors. She's young. She's like Nahida, right? She's like our little nature girl, I think. So maybe she likes salad. I think she'd love salad. Fish at the moment, maybe. I think salad makes more sense for Sylvia. Marielle looks kind of posh as well, right? A little bit older, but she likes cake. No, I might think that makes sense. Cake is fine. I also want to try to find, I think what I want now, Himari likes ice cream. Well, interestingly enough, she's the younger sister of Chizuru, and Chizuru was also ice cream. So I don't know, but I want these sisters to have like, I want these sisters to be bickering and fighting a lot because already Chizu's very rebellious and argumentative. So I don't want these two sisters to get along. I want them to constantly be at odds with each other and to be very competitive. Like Himari's always trying to outdo her older sister. She's tired of older sister always getting the attention and always doing everything perfectly and always being the popular one, always this now. So I think out of pure stubbornness. Stubborn isn't a trait. This is perfect. See, this is helping me flesh out what should be. So I do have some ideas about some of these characters already. Okay, so I think stubbornness. She's very stubborn. Maybe even jealous. I think she's jealous of her sister, but she's also stubborn. I might give her a couple of negative traits then. We have jealous, right? Yeah, we've got jealous. Okay, so I'm adding stubborn. So Himari is both jealous and stubborn, and this is what causes a lot of their arguments. And I think purely out of her stubbornness alone, she would, even if she really secretly loved ice cream, I think she would never admit that it was her favorite food because her big sister who gets all the attention, it's her favorite food, and I have to have my own identity. I'm not my sister. I'm jealous of my sister. So I think she's stubborn and jealous. She would never admit that ice cream was her favorite food, even if it was. But maybe it's so close, that it should be pudding. But pudding's her own thing, right? That's her way of separating herself from her sister. So I think pudding should be her favorite food because it's close enough to ice cream. And really, right? Really, it's ice cream, but she'll never admit it, right? Because that's her sister's thing, and that's Himari in a nutshell, right? Himari is always going to be like, no, because they're both as bad as each other, right? They're both stubborn. They both want, they both want budge an inch or whatever, All right, Zoe says Zoe likes salad, black midi. I think Zoe likes burgers. I think Zoe likes burgers. Mambo likes salad. I see her as more of a fish girl. Really exotic fish though, with lots of fruits and she's always coming up with these really interesting exotic dishes. Now maybe that's because I called her Mambo and she's our most culturally appropriate character. Let's say I don't know if that's why, but no, it just makes it more interesting as well, right? I was like, oh okay, yeah, she's always bringing new things to the table. Now, a girl who wants to be a pirate, she could like anything really. I think she'd like fish, because she's always she always wants to be out at sea. So this just makes her feel even more like she should be a pirate. I was born for the sea. I like fish. I can go days just eating fish. I could be on the ocean all day long. That's why I need to be a pirate. Optimistic. Likes teaching people. I'm not sure about this. Well, Guybrush, I think it's funny because she's meant to be like a female Guybrush, so I think she should be a bit of a coward, because that's what makes Guybrush so funny, right? Is the Guybrush wants to be a mighty pirate, but he's actually a big fucking coward. So now I know we're kind of copying here, but she is meant to be the whole point of her existing is because she's meant to be like an Easter egg going back to Monkey Island. But she could still be optimistic. I don't know that she'd be a mentor though. I think I'm going to add one, and I think I'm going to add resilient. I think she should be very resilient. Yeah, I think she should be resilient. So we're going to make her optimistic and resilient, but she's also a bit of a coward. I think I'm liking that. Okay, so let's go. I haven't looked at all the traits, though, have I? So let's see. Chizuru's rebellious, but she's kind-hearted. She's also kind of impatient. So she's a bit of a firecracker. She's getting it. She's quite hard work. She's quite high maintenance. She's very, very fiery. You know, you're not gonna have an easy life. You're not gonna have an easy life if you're with Chizuru every day. But heart's in the right place. And she's our main pro tag nonetheless. Love her or hate her, she's our main pro tag. And I like that about her. I think that's good. And I think she's just like, she just suits that, right? I think a look suit that character. Tama is a mentor. She likes to teach people. She's very optimistic. So always look on the bright side. But she's also very serious. Are those two at odds with each other? You could be optimistic but still take everything very seriously, couldn't you? You know, she's like, you know, oh my god, stop messing around. We've got work to do. Stop playing with that. Oh my god, no, we don't have time for fun. But she's still optimistic. Well, at least our healer's still alive. Yeah, I think she could be both of those things. I don't think they're at odds with each other. Izumi, rebellious. Oh, I don't know. That's Chizuru's thing. She doesn't look very rebellious to me. See, Izumi looks like a soft touch, right? I don't think rebellious makes sense for Izumi. Maybe kind-hearted. She looks like more like a motherly type, actually. Maybe it would be better. Maybe the better way of doing this is to like, because there are some traits, right? Like I think there are some traits where there should only be one character that has that trait, right? Like there should only be one motherly character type in this entire roster. So it probably is better to look through them and say, okay, which one is the motherly type? Maybe Fiorella, actually. I think that would be super interesting. I think it's Fiorella. It automatically picked it. Look at that. Fiorella automatically got motherly. That's great. I love it when that happens. RNG gave me motherly for Fiorella and I love it. I love that. Yeah, okay. So we're not going to make her motherly. But I do see her having similar traits, right? So I think just kind-hearted makes more sense. Oh shit, I'm on... Oh yeah, I'm on Izumi. Yeah, kind-hearted. It also says she wants to be a mentor. Tama is currently our mentor as well. Should she also be a mentor? Let's see, what two traits make an interesting character here? Kind-hearted paired with what? Maybe she's really funny. Okay, who's the funny one? We can have one or two funnies. Which ones of these are always cracking jokes, do we think? I mean, maybe him... Oh, I already picked Himari's traits, though. Because I thought that could be something that they're always... Like, the sisters are always arguing about. Like, oh my god, you always think you're so funny. Why are you always cracking jokes? Thought maybe Himari could always be cracking jokes or something. And her sister hates it. But, no, I think I already picked the traits well for those two. Who's always cracking jokes? Maybe Setsu, actually. Because that's quite interesting, right? Because I find this in real life as well, right? When you have... I've heard this about, like, real... People who have stressful jobs and stuff like that, they often use humor to, like, get them through it, right? So if you have to deal with... Like, she has to deal with death, right? And really bad illness and, you know, there's some serious shit she's got to deal with. And you usually find that those people have a really good sense of humor because they use humor as, like, a defense mechanism when they use it to, like, get them through it. So I think... And she'd have to be somewhat selfless. So I think she could be the one. She's funny and selfless, and she's kind of using humor to get through her tough job, right? But it says here she's jealous. I don't see that for her. Oh my god, again, why is confident in the negative traits? The only negative trait I think that makes sense for her. Well, she could be, because a lot of these don't make sense if she's a nurse. Like, if I already picked that she's a nurse who's always cracking jokes and she's somewhat selfless, then a lot of these other negative traits don't really fit, I don't think. Also, why is outgoing a negative trait? Yeah, I'm regretting dividing these into negative and positive traits, if I'm being honest. I think I kind of just want to have a list of traits and combine them in one list. Yeah?
I've got some pizza left there. Do you want half of it?
Nah, I'll have something else later on, probably. Right, I see the only ones that could possibly fit is impatient, maybe insecure. Yeah, maybe she's insecure. It's also saying Izumi is kind-hearted and a mentor, but also cowardly. Oh, this is tough. This is really, really, really tough. Yeah, this is not a good way to create characters, by the way. But because I have 21 and I kind of just need to get something set up and, you know... I thought this would be a good starting point. Red likes fish. Glitch hop. Is brave, protective, and also reserved. So she's the one who'll always... Yeah, so she's the... I guess she's the one who's always keeping it. Yeah, I like that for Rain. I like that for Rain. Nozomi... Wise, patient, and impatient. She's both. No, she can't be impatient as well. And what's a negative trait? Maybe she's short-tempered. She doesn't really look short-tempered. Is she dumb? Is she jealous? Is she lazy? Maybe she's kind of lazy. Maybe she's always tired like me. She needs a better bed. She could be a little bit selfish, I guess. Wait, what did it say she was? Wise and patient, but a little bit selfish. Alright, let's go with that for now. Bandy is our other nurse. We've got two nurses. She's much older. Seeing she's wise, disciplined, but short-tempered. Yeah, I like that for her. I like that for her, actually. Sheena. Can she be shy and social? I don't know. I prefer shy for her over social. Maybe she's shy, but she's also brave, right? Because I like her. I like that her splash art has her like about to get run over, and she doesn't seem to give a shit. But it's also because she looks kind of stupid and dumb. I see her as being dumb, actually. I don't think she's mean. I think she's dumb. Like, I need to go through like the ones who I think should be dumb. Sweetie's definitely supposed to be dumb. She's supposed to be the airhead. Maybe even Kiki. Maybe even Kiki. She's like a dumb surfer girl. Right, so dumb would be our three dummies and these three. Oh my god, I can't stop yawning. Yeah, our three dummies are these three. No, I think I like that. Nozomi's wise, patient, but a little bit selfish. Jesus fucking Christ, why can't I stop yawning? I hate this. Like, this happens sometimes. It's like I woke up already. How long have I been at this? I've been at this for an hour and a half. I've been fine up until now, and now all of a sudden I'm just like, holy shit. It started with a stretch. Now I'm having like a fucking yawning fit. My eyes are like leaking. It's like a delayed wake up reaction or something. It's so weird. Also my scalp's itching again. I'm gonna have another itchy day, I bet you. Nozomi, wise, patient, but a little bit selfish. Right, I don't know. I'm feeling kind of overwhelmed by my own system here. It's just kind of difficult to. It's just a little bit difficult to pin like traits on these characters right now. Some of them it's easy, right? Like some of them I have a better idea about. But other ones not so much. I think this is what I maybe this is what I need to do is I need to understand which ones I'm happy with. So what I should probably do, yeah, because that would stop me feeling so overwhelmed. Let's look. Here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do because I'm feeling overwhelmed, and also it's because I'm having a fucking yawning fit as well, and I'm like, we're gonna make a folder called trait select. Alright, this is a temporary folder. I'm just gonna copy our character cards into here. I'm gonna go through so that I don't feel so overwhelmed, because there are some that I can cross off the list, right? So Chizuru, I'm happy with her traits. Rebellious, kind-hearted, impatient, absolutely perfect for her. I think I'm happy with Tama. She's a mentor. She wants to teach everybody what to do. She's very optimistic. She's always looking on the bright side, but she also takes things very seriously. She struggles to have fun and find the fun in things. Alright. Bit of a stick of brass. So I like that one. So we can get rid of her. Izumi, we said kind-hearted. Also, I'm not sure if she should also be a mentor. That's the thing. I guess she could be. I'm not as like convinced by this one. So this is where I think I move on and I'm like, yeah, no, she needs some more work, right? Setsu, I came up with some really good reasons why she is the way she is, right? She's comical because she's got a stressful job, and you often find that with stressful jobs, so she's using comical, you know, she gets through the day by cracking jokes. She's quite selfless, which I guess you'd have to be a nurse, but she's also a little bit insecure. Yeah, I love that for Setsu. I think Setsu's is perfect. I like Rain's as well. I think Rain being brave and protective, so she's always like the first to stand up for anybody, but she's also holding her cards close to her chest, right? She's not always easy to read. She's not always honest about her feelings. She's very protective of her own feelings and maybe presents a cold, harsher exterior than what she genuinely has. I think I like that for Rain as well. Nozomi, this is what I'm struggling with. I'm not sure about Nozomi. I might need to write new traits for Nozomi. There's still new traits to write, definitely. Like, I just haven't thought what they are yet. So Nozomi still needs some work. Bandy, we said, is very wise. Disciplined but short-tempered. Yeah, I think I like that. I'm not sure about the wise, though. I don't think anybody has open yet. But this is another thing I want to do. Maybe she's very resilient. Yeah, resilient might be a good one because I always joke that she's going to be like my Terminator Morris. So it would be kind of funny if she's very resilient. She's resilient, disciplined, but short-tempered. I like that. That's better. Sheena, I think I do want her to be an airhead, so she's dumb. She's also quite shy. But deep down she's very brave. I'm not sure about the brave. I like the shy and dumb. Maybe she's selfless, you know. Maybe she's just like so easy to take advantage of. Maybe she's the one that everybody just walks all over because she's just such a fucking dumbass and she's so easy to take advantage of. Or maybe she's like super social. Yeah, I'm torn between... selfless, and I think if I write her as selfless, she's going to be so. Well, that's an interesting. That gives me a new frame of reference, right? Is okay. Do I want there to be a character? Because I think it would be interesting if there was. Do I want there to be a character amongst these that is the one that's always like taken advantage of? I do think that's her. I do. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's her. Okay. So if that's her, then I guess she wants to be selfless, shy, and dumb. So she's easy to take advantage of. I think that's fine. I think that's good for Sheena. She's the one that's always getting kind of bullied or whatever everyone takes advantage of. Chloe. I see Chloe being very, very smart and capable. Say she's wise. She could be wise. Rebellious. Yeah, she could be a little rebellious. But then she's also cowardly. I don't see her being cowardly. See, she's being very outgoing. But why is outgoing in the negative traits? This is another thing. I think this is another thing that's making me a little uneasy with the way I'm doing things right now. Is because like I don't agree that all the negative traits are actually negative traits. I see Chloe as being stubborn, actually. Wise, rebellious, and stubborn. Isn't that exactly the same as Chizuru? Now, Chizuru is rebellious, kind-hearted, and impatient. I feel like the problem with Chloe being wise, rebellious, and stubborn is her only real positive trait there is that she's wise. So she's super smart, but she's also a bit of a bitch. I don't really see her being a bit of a bitch. She could be, I guess. Is this, and then that raises a new question, right? Is there a complete bitch out of all these characters? Because there probably should be, right? One of them's just a complete bitch. I feel like Himari's a bitch to her sister, but I don't think she's a bitch to anyone else. I don't think Fiorella's a bitch. Maybe Elise is a bit of a bitch. Yeah, I think maybe Alicia could be the bitch. Okay, so that's something that I feel happy with, right? So if I feel happy with something, I should set it and forget it. So if we want Alicia to be the bitch, then she should be... She's resilient, rebellious, and mean, yeah. Or maybe selfish. Maybe she's got a couple of negative traits. She's selfish and mean. So that I think that would make Alicia the bitch. Okay, I think I like that. Okay, we'll come back to Chloe. I'm still not sure about Chloe. Suzu. Open. I can see that. Wears a heart on a sleeve. Wise. But I don't see it being mean. I don't see it being mean. Maybe she's very competitive. Maybe she's jealous. Insecure. I'm not sure about a negative trait. We'll come back to her. Alright, Kiki. Kiki. Disciplined. I don't see it. She spends all day on the beach. I don't see it. Patient. Yeah, she could be patient because she just wants to lounge around. So I think she's lazy. Do we have lazy as a trait here anywhere? Yeah, okay, she's lazy, for sure. That much I know. Maybe she's social. So she hangs out on the beach all day. So I think social. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. Social, patient, and lazy is a good one for Kiki. I think. Social, lazy, and patient is probably good for Kiki. And she spends all day on the beach, so I don't think pizza. I think burger makes more sense because it's like something you can just. We might also think of fish because she's always near the ocean, but she's too lazy to fish for herself. So she likes to grab a burger on the beach, I think. She's lazy, she likes a burger on the beach. She's social, she's patient. I like that for Kiki. Okay, I like that for Kiki. Fiorella is our prissy little bitch, but she's not really a bitch. She's actually nice. She's motherly, she's kind-hearted. She's very outgoing. She could also be wise. I see it as a wise. We could add another positive trait. She's a 5-star. She could also be very wise. Yeah, let's add wise. Let's add a new one. Feels like she doesn't really have any negative traits, though. I don't want it so that every 5-star in the game just doesn't have any negative traits, but for now I like that for Fiorella. Sweetie, like I'm sure who she is, right? She's going to be the bimbo, basically. So she likes cake. She's optimistic, protective, but dumb. Yeah, I like that for Sweetie. I think that's fine. Alright, Katarina. I already kind of know Katarina, right? Katarina is the girl born into royalty, born into wealth, but she just wants to be a normal girl, right? She doesn't like any of that. So she likes pizza, and her family's always looking down on her for it. So she's social. She wants to just be accepted. Maybe she's insecure. Yeah, I think she'd be insecure. But I think she's very kind-hearted. So I think she's kind-hearted, social, and insecure. I like that for Katarina. I think that's perfect for Katarina. Sylvia, the young nature girl, like salad. I think she could be very open and very honest, like to a fault. Very selfless. But a negative trait. Not sure. Maybe she's insecure. But I feel like I'm just falling back to insecure every single time. I need to think of a negative trait for her. I don't see her as being cowardly. Because she spends all day in the great outdoors, right? And you can't, like, I don't know. I just think if you're outdoorsy a lot, I don't think you'd be that much of a coward, really. Because she's probably coming across like wild animals a lot, and she's not running scared, right? She's fucking feeding them or whatever. So, you know who she is? She's the guy who lived with the bears who got eaten by bears. That's who she is. All right, I'm gonna remove negative traits. She needs some more work. Marielle likes cake, is shy. Yeah, I think she could be shy. Shy but funny. And reserved. She doesn't really want to open up. Which kind of screams sort of insecure, doesn't it? But again, I feel like I'm just making them all insecure. I don't know why. Or maybe I'm just insecure that I'm making them all insecure, you know what I mean? Maybe that's me. Maybe I'm projecting my personality onto these girls. And that's wrong. That would be a toxic masculine thing to do, you know. I don't want to be a toxic masculine with these girls. Right, so we got Zoe, protective. I can see that. But a little shy. Yeah, I could see that. That could be kind of fun. Because she feels like an alien, right? She's like an alien. She's the odd one out. She feels like she doesn't fit in. So she's protective, shy, and a loner. I love that for Zoe. I think that's great. I think those are great for Zoe. Those are great for Zoe. Get rid of Zoe. Mambo is optimistic, open, but a little bit mean. I can see that. I can see that. A little bit spoiled, maybe. And Guybrush, Girlbrush, obviously optimistic, resilient, and cowardly, because that's the perfect, like, Girlbrush. Okay, so that makes me feel so much better, because now there are only 5, 6, 7. There are only 7 characters that I'm not 100% sure about with all of their traits. So one thing I did want to do when I get to this stage is write a new script which scans through all the options and all of the girls and lets me know if there are any unassigned values anywhere, because I think that's a good place to look. Okay, so it's going to scan through all of the girls and it's going to look through all of the options and it's going to let me know if there are any unassigned values. So is there at least one girl who likes fish? Is there at least one girl who's shy? Is there at least, you know what I mean? If there's something that I haven't assigned to any of them, it'll let me know, because then that lets me consider those heavier and see if there's anything that hasn't been assigned that's redundant that we can assign to one of these 7. But that's actually a bit of a bitch of a script, actually. Okay, we need to put it on base, so I'm just going to make a script in tools. I'm going to call it missing vowels. Hasn't compiled yet. Let it compile. Missing vowels. Okay. All right. So here's how we do this. Okay, so the first thing we need is a private list of everything that has values. So if we look at our personality script, right, we're going to include gifts as well. But I don't really care about the gifts as much. We should do it though. So we're going to make a list of gifts, and with gifts I don't care whether a character, I'm not insisting that at least one character must like the pixel cat and at least one character must dislike the pixel cat, as long as there's at least one character who feels one way or the other about every gift item, if that makes sense. So hang on. Right, so we start with a list of gifts. So the first thing we do is we start by iterating through each character, right? So we say for each transform child in transform, and then we want to grab the personality script. So we can say personality get per equals child, get component personality. Actually, that's not what we do first. What we do first is we look at all of the gift items and we add them to the list. So we can say let's see if I can find that personality. What was that syntax to copy a list over? Can we do that with anything? Can we use it with normal lists? So if we look at this syntax here, this is how we copied a list of P traits. So we would refer to P traits. We would refer to gifts, sorry, as the start of that, and then we would say it's a list of gift items, and then we want the gift items array in type of gift item. Ooh, I do like that. Okay, that is super cool. So now we have a copy of the gifts list in gifts. So what we do now is we say we remove the gifts, right? So we say for each gift item, get gift in like get per likes gifts, remove get gift. And then similarly we say for each gift item, get gift in gifts, dislikes, remove the gift from the list. Okay, so by the time it's gone through and done all of those, any gifts that are left in that list haven't been liked or disliked by anybody, if there are any. Alright, so we want to do a similar thing with favorite foods. Are these going to show up actually? So favorite foods would be personality food foods equals a new list of personality foods, and then we should be able to do the same thing with foods. So foods equals a new list of personality foods, personality foods, personality foods. There we go. And then they only have one favorite food, so now we can just say foods remove get per favorite food. Beautiful. Alright, so now we need to do the same thing with musics. So I'm just going to copy personality music, 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 copy the list from music, 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 remove get personality favorite music. Okay, and then we want the same thing with positive traits and the same thing with negative traits. So we want a oh boy, personality positive. These are P traits. P traits. I'll just call it pos. P traits. Pos equals P traits, P traits, P traits, and then we need a for each P trait. It is personality.p trait, personality.p traits in get personality dot positive traits. We need a name. Get pause remove get pause, and then we do the same thing with negative. So in traits neg n traits neg n traits n traits n traits n traits get neg traits get neg remove. Alright, that should be it. Whew! Okay, so before we go ahead, I'm going to make this a function. Oh, come on. I'm going to make this a function called remove assigned. Oh shit, this won't work because we haven't got... Oh, it will. Yeah, well, okay. The reason I'm going to do that is I want to make sure that every single one of those... I've never done this with enums before. I want to make sure that all of the enums are readable in the inspector, because if they're not, then this won't work. So I'm going to hit play, and what we should see is every single assignable category appear in the list, and we're not seeing a goddamn thing. Well, first of all, gift items, okay. Okay, enum value isn't copying in start works, but the list gift item and similar fields don't show in the inspector, which is likely because gift item is a mono behavior class, not an enum, and Unity doesn't support enum style listing for mono behavior based types. Oh, great. That's great news. Yeah, I was worried about that. Okay, gift item is not an enum. This line causes confusion. Yeah, I already knew that I'd made that mistake, but it's still not working anyway. But it's given me a solution. Well, I don't have a public list of gifts like that, so I'd have to build it from a gift route. Oh, for God's sake. So we can declare a public gift route transform like that. And then we can say, so instead of doing this won't work. Instead of doing this, we're going to need to say for each transform child in gift route gifts add child get components gift item like that, and then make sure that's assigned in the inspector. My gifts are here. Boop. And then that should work. What's it doing? Outputting it in the console. Okay, so there's only one type of music. I want to make sure that's telling me. Okay, there's one type of music that hasn't been assigned, and there are 3 negative traits that have not been assigned. Everything else has been assigned to somebody. That's actually super helpful. I assume that's working, but just to make sure that it is working, we can mute out remove assigned so that we get a direct copy of the full list and we can see what we've got access to. So if we run it again, there you go. There's all our gifts. There's all our foods. There's all our musics. There's all our positive traits. And there's all our negative traits. So it's definitely working. Okay, that's really, really, really good news. So let's take a look at the output again so that I can hone in on that. So the only thing that hasn't been assigned is apparently nobody likes Folktronica. I think Sylvia is the one who should like Folktronica because she's a nature girl. And Folktronica, I don't know, I have no idea what the fuck Folktronica is, but I would guess it's somewhat folky, right? Since it's got the word folk in it, might not be. But you know what? I'm going to pick Sylvia for Folktronica. You know what we'll do? Let's just grab our snipping clips and take a screenshot of that. Okay, so now we can see exactly what it pointed out. So we'll do Folktronica. Let's put that over there. So I'm gonna hit stop, and I'm gonna go to Sylvia, and I'm gonna make Sylvia like Folktronica. Yeah, I think that's going to suit her way better than Black MIDI. Now, again, I don't really know what Black MIDI is, but I would assume it would suit her better than Black MIDI would. Okay, and the negative traits we have not yet assigned is competitive. Really? Okay, so the girls that we're still not sure. I think that's Chloe. But I thought Himari was competitive. No, she's stubborn and jealous. And she's also competitive, though, to be fair. With a sister, at least. Confident. Wait, is in negative traits? I'm really regretting this, trying to divide traits into positive and negative, because it's not working out for me. Nobody's confident, apparently. Well, that's why they need their big butch, you know, player commander to guide them along the way, you see. That's what they need. It's one thing they're missing. None of them are pessimistic. Yeah, pessimistic is obviously a negative trait, but like confident and competitive, I don't necessarily see as competitive traits. So out of our list of still unknowns, Do any of these suit any of those traits? Who looks like the most pessimistic one? I want to say, I want to pick, I feel like I'm bullying Himari. I think Suzu could be pessimistic, actually. She looks like she could be a bit grumpy, doesn't she? Suzu said she was mean. Yeah, I don't think she's mean. She's pessimistic. There we go. Suzu is now pessimistic. So we assigned pessimistic to someone, and nobody is confident, but it's not really a negative trait either. But who looks like the most confident amongst these? I want to say it's either Nozomi or Chloe. I just don't see how it's a negative trait. Maybe they're a little bit arrogant. I'm going to give it to both of them. Okay, so now if we run the script again, it should say that everything's been assigned unless we happen to remove something that was unique to that character and nobody else while doing that. No, okay, so our list of missing values now says we got them all, so that's good. There are no redundant values. Yay! We removed redundancy from our personality system. Yay! Still not sure. Now I need to double triple check and see if we have these ones down. We may want to add traits. But this is the other problem, right? Because the other problem is I'm still not hard set on these 7 characters yet. So as I shift things around now and I try to get these set in stone, we may create new redundancies, right? So that's why that script's really useful, actually. Okay, so let's hone in on Izumi. She's meant to be kind. Right now it says she's kind-hearted. She's a mentor, but she's a bit of a coward. I don't see it. I don't see her being cowardly. She doesn't come. Well, she could be, I guess. Is she gonna like pirate software roach out of there? Do I see a pirate software roaching out of there? Maybe. So how about we just do this? I know this is weird. But it's because I'm struggling to like nail a couple of these characters, right? Maybe I should have rephrased that. I'm struggling to nail down their personality types. So what if we do something really silly? What if we just say, okay, Izumi is pirate software, and then we just set her as pirate software. So what is she then? She's wise, social, and like overly confident, like arrogant. Oh, but she's also a coward, right? She's got a roach out of there. So she's a coward as well. Okay. Alright, fair enough. Let's say we did that. And then Nozomi, what is Nozomi starting to look like? She's wise, she's patient, she's a little bit arrogant maybe. I should have called this arrogant because I think that's what I meant when I'm like overly confident, I guess. But confidence isn't a negative trait by any means. But it's like anything, right? Everything's a balancing act anyway. Too much in one way or the other way can be, you know, equally as bad. Nozomi, I do see her as like, Nozomi's like knows she's all that in a bag of chips, you know. Nozomi's a little too, yeah, I see her being a little bit arrogant. She's wise, she's patient, or whatever positive traits. She's wise and she's patient. I think she's social, she's like popular, right? She's going to be the popular girl, I think. And she could be quite protective, let's say. That's what you like about Nozomi, because she's protective. She's got your back when you need to, but she's also an arrogant little bitch. She knows she's all that on a bag of chips, right? Alright, so what about Chloe? Chloe is wise, rebellious, but a little bit arrogant. See, being stubborn as well. I'm gonna add stubborn to that list. Yeah, I think we're good with Chloe now. Suzu was the one who I said could be a little. What is it I said about her recently? Pessimistic. Yeah, she could be a bit of a pessimist, but she's open. She's always honest. She's quite smart. Is she? Yeah, I think so. Capable. She's even quite outgoing, maybe. Let's add outgoing. Is outgoing a negative trait? I think it is because I'm insane. She's outgoing and pessimistic, I think. Okay, I like that. Sylvia. Open, wears her heart on her sleeve, very selfless, so she's such a little goody two-shoes in many ways, but what's a negative trait? What's bad about Sylvia? Maybe she's serious, she's like, you know, she struggles to have fun. She struggles to like... I think she's just insecure. I don't think I've got insecure in as many places as I maybe think. I think she's just insecure. I think she's just insecure. Alright, what about Marielle? She's shy, funny, and like, you know, cards close to her chest, not easy to read, very secretive. Yeah, I think I like that for Marielle. And Himari, I think we like Himari, don't we? Because we know she's the little sister. She's jealous. She's shy. Oh god, she's got so many negative traits though. Shy? No, she's definitely not shy. She's definitely not patient either. She's too much like a sister. So if she's like a sister, that's the thing, right? Isn't that always the case as well, right? It's like family members often clash because they're so similar. It's not because they're opposites, it's because they're similar, right? And it's like batting heads. That's what she's supposed to be. She's supposed to be batting heads with Chizuru. So shouldn't she have some of Chizuru's same traits? She should also be rebellious. Maybe she's not as kind-hearted though. She's rebellious and stubborn. So she should be rebellious like a sister. Would she be patient? She's always batting. Maybe she's no. There's one that I haven't. There's one that I haven't added. I think we've been missing something with Himari. There's this one piece of the puzzle that was missing, and I'm trying to think what the word is. She has this like sense of justice, right? She has this like, you know, like she wants everything to be fair and equal, and she can't stand that her sister's always one above. You know, I don't know what you would call that. Idealistic? Maybe it's idealistic. And now again we come down to this: is idealistic a positive trait or a negative trait? I mean, it can be both, right? It depends. I think she's rebellious, idealistic, but also stubborn, jealous, and competitive, especially when it comes to her sister. Maybe that's too many negative traits for her. Maybe she's not so stubborn, she's just jealous and competitive. Is Chizuru stubborn? Chizuru's impatient. I don't think it's fair that Himari's got 3 negative traits when everybody else seems to have 2. On most people. That's fine. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I think we are good. I think I'm happy with the traits now. So we're gonna run it again, just to make sure everything is still assigned. Now that we've shuffled things around. Yep, no redundant data. Beautiful. Alright, we can turn that script off now, we don't need it. Yeah, I think that's good. I think what we've got is good. We've got the ages in there. Right, so we already know some of the aspirations, right? So if we go to Katarina, for example, she just wants to be aspirations. She just wants to be treated like a normal girl. So what might her aspirations be? Born into wealth and royalty, Katarina just yearns to be seen as a normal girl. I've put seam. How about that? Loves to socialise and wants to settle down modestly with the common folk. Kind of like that. See, one thing GPT I think excels at, right, is the more context you can give it, the more it's able to come up with like really cool things. So like my plan here is to give it as many pieces of these puzzles as I can, and then say, okay, can you fill in the missing pieces, and see what it comes up with. But yeah, I feel like if you gave GPT, you know, a blank slate and just said, write me 20 characters from scratch, you'd get all kinds of weird stuff that just doesn't really fit in. But if you say, okay, my game's theme is this, and then this character is this age, and he's as much, here are their favorite foods and their favorite gifts and their dislikes, and you know, we give it as much information as we can, and then say, okay, now we want a net handle and a biography, or aspirations, or whatever we're missing, right? Whatever we're not sure about. I think that's when it excels, and it'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do that, and it'll just come up with something great. For Cheeser, I'm going to say, despite being accused of having main character syndrome by her competitive little sister, Chizuru is in fact our main character. Hot-headed, impatient, rebellious, but with a heart of gold. Chizuru may not always be the easiest to get along with, but she sure knows how to take care of those around her. I like that. Alright, Tamar. Good morning, Canthia. How are you? Okay, Tamar. 19 Gemini. Likes mostly gamer stuff. Likes to teach others, is very optimistic, but takes things very seriously. She's very serious. She's a very serious character. She likes fish. And trip hop. I like trip hop. Okay, so what can we say about Tamar? Do we have a biography for Tamar yet? So Tamar is, yeah, she's going to be like the ultimate mentor one, you know. Tamar loves to like show people the ropes. Tamar loves to share her knowledge and experience. To help others learn the ropes and help them be all that they can be. Optimistic in nature, but she is very encouraging, but can struggle to let her hair down and join in during leisure and fun. Moments. Right, I think GPT should be able to reword some of this for me as well. I'm kind of what would you call it? I'm grooming it. Yeah, I'm going to groom GPT into sort of coaxing is probably better. Coax it into giving me what I want. Okay, so Izumi is an ice buffer. She is 20 Sagittarius. Okay, I'm not going to worry about the gifts so much. She likes pudding. She's wise, social, but a little bit arrogant, a little bit overly confident, and also a bit of a coward. Actually, I'm going to remove confident from her. I don't think it suits her as much. She's just going to be a bit of a coward. Okay, so she can be cowardly. I might ask GPT just to write some of these bios out, right? So she's wise, social, but a little bit of a coward. I think it's something like Izumi is not only book smart, but streetwise too. Fantastic in social situations and down to earth with a clear understanding on what to do next. However, in times of strife, she can sometimes because the reason why is I said I made a joke earlier and said she was going to be pirate software. Times of strife, she can sometimes panic, fall apart, and leave everyone to pick up the broken pieces. Often lacking the courage to stare danger directly in the face. Okay. Setsu is our little healer here. She likes sausage. She's always cracking jokes. She's kind of funny and comical. She's very selfless though. Puts others first. But she's also quite insecure. Okay. At just 18, Setsu quickly became a head nurse, handling the pressure and stress using her wit and great sense of humor. She is selfless to a fault and will always put others before her. However, she lacks self-confidence always needs reassurance from others and is quite insecure in social situations. Alright, I like that. Rain is our fish-eating brave protector type, but she's also quite reserved, so she's not open and easy to read. She's got a heart, she's got her cards close to her chest, that kind, a bit secretive. Rain will protect her teammates at any cost. With her resolve of steel, she will defend her friends to the death. Yeah, that's actually really fortunate that it turned out that way, actually, because that makes sense because she's a water defender as well. So, like, now it kind of makes sense why she might be protective of her own feelings and things and be a little bit hard to read and, you know, defensive because she's a defender, right? So that's actually cool because it ties in with her role as well. How do I want to put this? Although she may sometimes appear callous and cold, her unwavering commitment to protect those in need how do I want to put this? Let's see, what have we got? It's so hard to see what you're doing in these little fucking boxes. Rain will protect her teammates at any cost. With her resolve of steel, she will defend her friends to the death. Although she may sometimes appear callous and cold, her unwavering commitment to protect those in need prove that her heart is true, strong, and yeah, I basically want to say something like, you know, she's considering others, putting others first. You know, she's not selfish, basically. Like, she's not a bad girl, but you know, she might not always show. She might not always be the most. Why should we sometimes be calls and called her unwavering commitment to protect those in need? Prove that her heart is true, strong, and dependable. Yeah, that seems fine for now. We might get Jibity to help with some of this. Alright. Nozomi likes haggis. Hence the tartan skirt. She's social, protective, and but can be a little confident, a little bit too confident, like arrogant, maybe even a little bit arrogant. So she's basically the popular girl who knows it and can be a bit, you know. Maybe a bit too full of herself at times. Right, how about we do this? I think what we do now, I need some help writing some of these, so I need to get, like, basically have something that I can feed GBT. So what we'll do next with our personality script is we'll get it to, like, dump out a little file for us. So a new start. We're actually done. No, we're alright. We'll just make a new one. This is all just text. It's like so small and inexpensive. Right. So on the first thing we'll do is on start we'll say if. Actually, no. We can just do it as a. We'll do this. We'll do this. And we need system IR. Using system IR. Actually, this would be a lot easier to do on the characters thing that I just disabled, because that has access to all of them, and then I'll just make the name of the character .txt. Yeah, that's a much better way of doing it. So if I go to my missing vowel script, so we want to do a list of yeah, okay, we'll start with a list of girl entities. Girls. Equals a new list of girl entities. Then we can do so I have to do this on transform, I guess. Although we can inherit the transform from system, I guess. Yeah, oh my god. Would it be easy just to do it like that? Public transform. Wait, where doesn't this run from there? Yeah, this does run from there. It's this transform. Oh yeah, we don't need that then. We can just say for each child. Oh my god. Transform child. Transform child in transform. I don't even know really why I'm copying a list. Why am I copying a list? I'll do it anyway. Girls add child get components girl entity. Girl entity get girl equals child get component girl entity. Actually, I should have done that first, and then I could just say add get girl. I've got to be honest, I don't even know why I'm copying the list. I don't even think I need to. Alright, we'll leave it there. We've got it if we need it. Right, so we can say string file name equals get girl name plus .txt. Alright. I added system IO to the other script. I was wondering why I didn't have system IO. Using system IO. Okay, file append all text file name name get girl dot name plus line break. Alright, so now let's take a look and see what information we want to give it. So on girl entity, I guess we'll do, we don't have descriptions on these yet. Actually, I'll probably get rid of description because that's going to go into personality bio. Yeah, we'll probably get rid of that now actually. Should we do that now? But that's going to make, yeah, that's going to make some errors everywhere else, isn't it? Yeah, let's leave that in there for now, just because I don't want to break other things. I don't want to fix all that up just yet. But yeah, really, we've got a duplicate field there now. That's fine. I think we do, what we'll do is we'll say, we'll construct what we want it to look like. So we want name, age, star sign. I think we want role weapon. Elements. I'll include element in weapon, I think. Right, the stats aren't going to affect the personality, so that doesn't really matter. Maybe it would consider, I don't know, if the rarity was 4-star or 5-star, it would maybe give some, it would affect the personality somehow. Right, so we got access to girl entity, we need access to personality, so personality gets p. I'll just say get per equals child, get components. No, get components. What are you doing? Personality. Okay, so age is get personality. Age. Star sign is get personality. Star sign. Role is get girl dot role girl role. Weapon is going to be get girl weapon plus. Actually, we're going to do element first. So get girl element plus space plus weapon. So it'll say fire, bow, water, whatever, sword. Okay, that makes sense. And then we want like foods, likes and dislikes. Ah, what am I doing? Fav food. Personally, fav food. Fav music. And then we want personality traits. So this one's a little bit trickier. We're going to say traits. Right, so first we need to inherit the traits. So we want string traits equals get personality. Well, equals nothing, and we'll say for each p trait. Most of them don't have a bio. But a couple do. Alright, that should be amazing. Alright, give it a run. We should get a file for every single girl with all the data that we have at the moment, just to give it to ChatGPT so we can have it. Oh, I forgot to assign. Zip. Oh, you know what? We don't actually use it. Okay, just give us a sec. Oh, because it's on this transform, isn't it? Yeah, that's true. Okay, that should be fine then. Beep. Alright. Wait, that was super quick. I suppose it would be. iDLE. There we go. Alicia.text. Alright, let's go through them. Alicia. Alicia, 15, Virgo, Buffer, Water Rod, favorite music, cheese. No, favorite food, cheese. Favorite music, Black MIDI. I like cheese music. Have I spelled rebellious wrong? Motherfucker. Alright, let me go fix that. It's got 2 L's, I think. Doesn't this thing have a spell checker on it? I guess not. Alright, let's run it again. Should fix that. It's also saying fave and star signs are spelled wrong, but I could do star space sign if it really wants to be arsey about it. It doesn't really matter, correct? Because it'll. Whatever, run it again. I'm going to load it in Notepad++ because that way if it updates, Notepad++ will let me know. Also, it's appending text, so they're all going to have 2 things on now. Fucker. Right, let me just delete the old ones then. There we go. No, you fucking twat. Windows! Alright, do it now. There we go. Alright, that should be enough to give GPT, I think. So we can go through now. So I'm going to come up with a template which says, oh, you fucking twat, Unity crashed. Whatever, I need to fix that. Shut up. Right. Can you help me? 1. Pick an online handle name for this character. 2. Write a short bio for them. Actually, that's 3. I also need 2. Suggest their life aspirations. And 3, write a short bio for them. Okay. Actually, would be better. Yeah, I could just give Gibbity all of these, and it should give me each one. Yeah, maybe I want that all in one file and I can just give it all at once. All right, let's see what we get. I think I would rather do that. So I'm actually not gonna make it a separate file for each character because that's gonna take me quite a while to get through. I'm running out of time as well. I think we're leaving here in about an hour probably. Let's go to the hospital. So I kind of want to crack on. Missing vowels. So instead of saying file name, we'll just say file name equals profiles.txt. There we go. And it will put them all under. We'll give it like a line separator. Unity fucking crashed, so I've got to reload it. Oh my god, I hope I didn't lose anything in the editor. I'll be so mad if I did. Oh my god, imagine. Please tell me I didn't lose anything in the editor. I would be so mad. That would be all my morning's work gone. I swear to fucking god that better not have happened. Oh my god. No, it's fine. Thank fucking god for that. Alright, so we should have... Oh, it's just not running. There we go, profiles.txt. So now we have all the characters on one sheet. And I'll say help write or improve a short bio for them. There we go. Okay. Alright, let's go. Alright, let's see what it comes back with on this one. Ooh, it's really thinking about this. Ooh, it's really thinking about this one. I've never seen it think so hard. Thanks, I've added these first 5 to memory. Let me know when you're ready to continue with the next batch of characters. Yeah, it also makes a bit of a... See, it looks nice in Notepad. But when it goes across to Gibbity... Right, so I didn't actually reply anything. Right, so that seems like too much work for it. Okay. So we'll go in, we'll clear this list. Since it's going to mess it up anywhere, I think we don't bother with these. We just put a space. Because it's going to mess it up anywhere. And we'll just give it like 5 at a time. Alright, let's run that again. So I guess we should go through. Let's just do 2 at a time for now. Maybe do 3. We'll do 3 at a time. Alright. I should also put Alright, let's make a new chart. Okay, let's see what we get. Absolutely, he's a polished and cohesive version of your characters. Tailor it to the theme of battling online negativity. Chizuru, online handle, hotshot hero. What did I say? The big cheese. Hotshot hero is not bad, actually, because she's fire as well. It's not bad. I'll put that one as a potential. So for now on an online handle, I'll have big cheese, and then I'll put that as well, because I can decide which one I want. Right, aspiration, prove herself as a worthy leader despite what others say. Sure, I can refine all these, right? Bio, brash, bold, and bursting with firepower. Chizuru charges through life like one of her arrows. Accused of the main character syndrome by a snarky little sister. She ironically is the main character. Although impatient and rebellious, her fiery heart always burns for the people she protects. She doesn't wait for permission, she acts, especially when her friends are under fire from cruel comments or cyberbullies. Okay, that was worded quite well. I'll keep that, I think. Alright, Tamar. Online handle, Ice Mentor. Aspirations, open a combat school to train the next generation of warriors. I like that, actually. I do like that. Yeah, I do quite like that. She's always dreaming of opening her own school. That's quite cool for her, actually. By her wise beyond her years, Tamar is the rock that holds the squad together. She thrives on teaching others, whether it's how to fight trolls or how to believe in themselves. But behind her calm, optimistic exterior lies a woman who sometimes forgets how to just be. Leisure isn't her strength, leadership is. If there's a chill in the room, it's probably from her ice hacks or her stern motivational speeches. That's actually really good. See, this is what I mean, right? You give GPT enough ingredients and it will cook something good. It will cook something good, most likely. But if if you just want it to do all the work for you. Okay, so Izumi pudding oracle. Okay. Aspirations to write a book that helps others overcome their fears. Okay. Soft-spoken yet sharp-minded, Izumi is a social butterfly who masks her fears with clever conversation. She's the type to calm everyone down during chaos, but she's still working on standing tall when her own heart trembles. Her ice rod may buff her allies, but her real magic lies in her words, her wit, and her unshakable empathy for those battling self-doubt in the digital world. These are really good. These are really, really good. Oh shit. Okay, I don't know what happened to the previous aspirations. Oh, there it is. Okay, those are really good actually. Okay. Okay, Setsu, online handle witch dog. Setsu brings light to even the darkest moments. Become a healer comedian to make the world smile. She wants to be. What was that film with Robin Williams? Didn't he do like a Patch Adams or something? Oh, that's gonna bug me now. There was one where he was like a doctor, but he was like or something like that one. He was like a doctor who wanted to be a comedian. She wants to be him. I swear it was like Patch Adams or something, wasn't it? Robin Williams. No results found. Patch Adams? Yeah, she wants to be Patch Adams. Witch duck, haha. Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, I'm really happy with what it's given me so far. And again, right, it's not like I can't go and change any of this if I want to, but it gives me an awesome place to start. Setsu brings light to even the darkest moments, often with a perfectly timed joke or awkward smile. Her fire stuff heals wounds, but her humor heals hearts. Especially in the face of cruelty, she hides deep insecurities behind laughter, rarely accepting help for herself, but no matter how bad things get online, she'll always be there to crack a joke and cast a heal. Rain at Silent Ages. Quiet and watchful, Rain lets her actions speak. She's the shield between danger and her friends. Always alert, always reliable. Her bravery is unquestionable, Though her walls are hard to break through, online harassment hits her hard not because it scares her, but because it reminds her of the chaos she once failed to stop. Now she never lets her guard down. Yeah, this is really good. I'm loving this. Nozomi GG Shieldman. Aspiration: become a global moderator to create safer digital spaces. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Loud, proud, and armed with confidence, Nozomi is the kind of defender who speaks out and stands firm. She lives to protect, and not just in battle, but in chat rooms, forums, and live streams too. She's everyone's cheerleader and watchdog rolled into one, never hesitating to call out hate just because she loves pixel art. And chiptune doesn't mean she's soft, she will clap back. Okay, let's go with the next three. Okay, ban the online handle ice mod. Not sure about that one either. Aspiration to create a digital sanctuary where no one has to tough it out alone. Bandy has weathered enough storms to know that healing isn't always gentle. With her ice rod in hand and an iron will in her heart, she cools tempers and restores balance, even when her own is on the verge of snapping. She's disciplined, unshakably resilient, and never afraid to call out toxic behaviour. Just don't interrupt her cake and break. Seriously don't. Cake break. Is that like the cigarette break? I want my cigarette break. Sheena. Online handles sad wave mage. To help others feel seen even if she stays in the background. Sheena might not say much, but her water stuff speaks volumes. A natural empath, she channels her shy energy into weakening the cruelest voices online. She's often underestimated, sometimes even by herself, but her selflessness has stopped more flame wars than most ever know. Even when she stumbles over her words, her heart never misses the mark. Okay, these are really good. Chloe. Hexed Teen. "13 years old and already a firestorm, Chloe doesn't wait her turn, she makes it. Armed with a fire axe." That's actually cool for Chloe, actually. Armed with a fire axe and a rebel streak, she buffs her team and bashes down toxic gatekeeping. She may be young, but her confidence and old soul wisdom leave even veterans scrambling to keep up. Don't mistake her stubbornness for immaturity. She's here to burn the system clean. Okay, yeah, these are great. Suzu online handle stream surge. Aspirations to help people embrace hard truths without losing hope. Suzu flows like water, honest, wise, and unafraid to say what others won't. She's a realist to the core, sometimes to the point of pessimism, but never shuts the door on someone trying to grow. With her water sword, she slices through fake positivity and toxic sugarcoating alike. She's outgoing, even charming, but she'll always tell it like it is, even when it hurts. Yeah, I like that for Suzu, actually. That's pretty good. Kiki's still AFK. That's great. That is actually great for Kiki. Still AFK. To create cosmos online where people can just exist. Kiki's everyone's. I feel like, I don't know, I might make it so that like Kiki just wants to open her own like surf shop or something. Oh no, she doesn't want to, because she's lazy, right? So like she wants to pay other people to open a surf shop. So she wants to own a surf shop but not have to actually work in it. Yeah, yeah, I'm going to change that one. So there you go, you see, I can still take over and be like, nah, I don't quite want that for her. To own, but not to have to work in her own surf shop. Kiki's everyone's favourite tank and part-time napper. She may come off as laid back or just lazy, but she's the first to stand tall when someone's being pushed around. With a water axe and infinite patience, she shields others from hate without demanding the spotlight. She's chatty, chill, and maybe a little too in her burgers, but in her presence, the chaos just seems to sell. Maybe a little too in her burgers. What the fuck does that even mean? No, like this is pretty fun. Fiorella. Mod Mama. Build a platform that uplifts creators and protects communities. I think it's going a bit too like, I don't know, it's a little too hyper focused on the theme of the game, I think. Like, I think you can like overdo that. Like, I think it's nice when things are thematic, right, and it creative works. So it's nice if everything sort of like fits in and, you know, belongs to the theme that you're going for. But I think you can sort of overdo it as well. Like, we're writing character aspirations here. Like, not every character necessarily should be obsessed with this aspect. Like, because at the end of the day, they're supposed to be people, right? So people who have come together to fight online negativity. The problem with this is I feel like it makes it so that like they don't exist outside the theme of the game. And I think a well-written character should have their own, you know, like aspirations outside of that. So the problem I'm seeing here is GBT's like, oh, every single one of these girls just wants a better online discourse, and yeah, sure, that's part of it. But it would be like going. This is like their workplace now. You could think of it like that, right? This is like their workplace now, and you know, if you went to a solicitor's and said to all of the people in the solicitors, you know, what are your aspirations to be a solicitor? Well, you're already a solicitor or whatever. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, what else is there about you though? Like, you know, you'd still have guys in there who are into football, and then guys who are in video games, and guys who are in whatever, getting pissed every weekend. Like, you're gonna have, you still, like, it doesn't really offer much variety, and everything becomes one dimensional. It's like, oh, nothing exists outside of this game and this cause, but like it still should, right? Like, even soldiers on a battlefield in a war, they're not just soldiers in a battlefield on a war, do you know what I mean? Like, they would still have, you know, oh well, I always wanted to, you know, what are you going to do when the war ends? Do you know what I mean? It would be like if one soldier saying to another soldier, "Oh, so what are you going to do if we ever get out of here and we get to go back home?" "Oh, I'm going to train to be a soldier so I can go in another war." That would be like the most boring character ever. I want to be in this war for the rest of my life. Like, no, you want like some heartfelt, like, you want, oh well, actually I was going to get engaged, but my fiance, actually, I don't know if she's going to wait for me because there's this other guy, and and then you introduce this, like, this guy's actually got other things going on before this war happened, as they should, and so they don't feel so one-dimensional. So I think Jubilee's getting a bit too obsessed with my game's theme here for all these characters. It's like, no, these girls shouldn't just only care about online discourse, right? They should have other things as well. So that's why I made it so that Kiki... So, I mean, I'll go back and think about these. But that's why I changed it so that Kiki wants to own a surf shop. Because this is her life outside of the online world, is she just sits on a beach all day and, wants to chill on a beach or whatever. But what did it put for this one? Fiorella is fire with a velvet touch, wielding a blazing axe and boundless compassion. She shares down harassment. I mean, these profile descriptions are pretty good. Again, they are very... I feel like they're a little too focused on the game and the game's theme. Like, let's put it this way, right? If you're making a game and this is my reality right now. I'm making a game with 21 characters and 21 different personalities, and they're all fighting and they're all playable characters and blah blah blah. If every single one of those 21 characters is just obsessed with online discourse and wants to make the internet a better place, then there's no difference from one character to another, right? They're all just the fucking same. But if you were to do something weird, let's say you were going to make them all, you were going to give them personalities from the outside world. So let's say, I don't know, just for arguments, let's say you just randomly rolled a dice and said, okay, we're going to go through a lot of careers here, and so then we're going to randomly roll some careers, and then you were like, okay, so we have a girl who's going to be a doctor, we have a girl who's going to be a solicitor, we have a girl who's going to be a, whatever it is, a police officer. Now suddenly the game's more interesting, right? You have a police officer fighting online discourse, and a nurse, and a solicitor, and you know what I mean? Like, it's just that's more interesting than just a bunch of girls who only care about online discourse and nothing else, because it's just so fucking one-dimensional. That's the problem. I think that's my criticism of GBT's responses here. I think is there's not much creativity in them. But I guess if you think about it, it's like, at the end of the day, GBT is a giant prediction engine, right? It's just trying to predict what should come next. I almost feel like I should run this experiment again and not tell it the theme of my game, because I don't want these characters to only exist inside of the game. They should have a personality outside of the game, right? Otherwise they're just boring and one-dimensional. So yeah, I'm not sure that it has written some pretty cool, but something is missing, right? And I would say there's an aspect that's missing. What I was hoping it would do when I asked it to give aspirations is I was hoping it would be creative and it would say, oh, okay. So maybe I'm asking the wrong question, I think. So if we look at what we're feeding it, right? I was hoping it would look at Sheena and be like, okay, well, maybe she's always wanted to own her own restaurant and become a world famous chef or whatever. Again, that's just more interesting, right? I feel like if you just beat your player with the theme of the game over and over and over again and there's nothing else to offer them, it just seems like a bit of a snooze fest. I think it's a little too obsessed with itself and takes itself too seriously. So I like what it's writing and how it's wording it. It's like probably better than what I could come up with, but it's overly it's overly tuned to the theme of the game. It's like, I want to know who Fiorella is. Yeah, I might start this again, because I kind of, so we could try changing the prompt, right? Okay, so I've worded it like that. I've said I'm interested in who these characters are outside of the game, so their aspirations should include personal interests. Long-term online. Why did I say online? I meant to say long-term. Long-term career goals, etc. Their bio should also include something about their life outside of the game's theme. Alright, so let's try starting this one again. And I guess we would need to reload profiles. And I might add something like, okay, this game is for an RPG game where the battle theme is battling online negativity. It also contains slice of life sections with story. So don't get too hung up on the battle tropes. There we go. Alright, let's see what this comes up with. Alright. Okay, Hotshot Hero, prove yourself. This is the exact same thing we got before. Brash, bold, and bursting with fire flow. Choose us to life with one of our arrows. This is the exact same thing it gave me last time. Oh, now it's added outside of battle. Cheeser who dreams of becoming a firefighter or rescue worker. Someone who literally runs into danger to save others. She's also a secret fan fiction author, writing redemption arcs for misunderstood villains. Okay, so it's tried to add a bit more dimension to it, I guess. It just seems clunky though. I mean, maybe I'm asking too much of it, right? It's a large language model. but it's like it's giving me. It's like, okay, you asked. It's like, okay, you want two sides of the character, so let me give you side A followed by side B, and it's like, well, that's not really how people are. It's not like you have, guy who works in the office. I mean, you kind of do, right? But it's still the same guy, right? You don't have like a completely different version of the guy who works in the office and the completely different version of the guy who works outside of the office. They're still the same guy, and it's not like those aspirations are different in and out of the office. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm still not really getting exactly what I want. But this I guess this is something I'm gonna have to use to inspire me. I think what I'll do instead of writing them, because I think if anything, this is going to. I'm going to put the responses for each character underneath the character. So I'm going to put GPT. Sure how to divide this. I'm better off. Hang on, where's my original list? Let's feed GPT from a separate list for a start. We'll make a copy of that list. Yeah, I think at most we're going to need to use what it's giving me as inspiration. But yeah, I think I'm asking too much of it basically. What am I doing? I don't mean to do this. I want to feed it from this one. So this is the one I want to remove those ones from. On this one, I want to include GPT's responses now. Add them so that I can sort of look at them and maybe be inspired by them. How do we go into word wrap? There we go. Word wrap. Tama, wise beyond the years. Tama is the rock that holds the squad together. It's almost giving me the exact same thing back as it did before. She thrives on teaching others, but behind her calm lies a woman who sometimes forgets just how to be. Leisure isn't her strength. Leadership is. When she's not, and then it's just kind of going into like part 2. When she's not swinging her axe, Tama studies education theory and martial arts history. She's saving up to open her own dojo. That's not the worst idea for her, actually. Where underdogs can misfits alike can learn discipline, self-confidence, and how to hold an ice axe properly. Yeah, see, it did start off like this before, I think. Because I think I remember reading that last time. So it already came up with open a combat school to train the next generation of warriors, and that's why I liked it. I think that's why this felt better when I first started getting like stuff back from it. But now it's sort of just feels like it's just giving me the same bio for every character, with a few little changes here and there, you know what I mean? Oh, well, she's meant to be. I suppose it doesn't have much to go on, right? I guess this is what I mean, right? About, so even this isn't really enough for it to give you anything good. Because it's like, I guess all it's really got to go is, and I guess that's a fair question for even like an actual writer. Yeah. Yeah, give me a sec. Alright, I need to go. Go to hospital. Oh, shit, I need to write the card out as well. Alright, I better wrap this up because I won't get any time.